Bubba Wallace looked like one of the biggest winners of the day. After a wild race on the San Diego street course at Coronado, he crossed the finish line in second place. Fans celebrated an incredible recovery after everything that had happened during the race. It looked like the number 23 Toyota had escaped disaster. But while the crowd focused on Wallace's impressive finish, NASCAR officials were looking at something completely different. They were reviewing one moment that could not be ignored. During the race, a rear wheel separated from Bubba Wallace's car. In NASCAR, that is one of the most serious safety problems possible. A loose wheel is not just dangerous for the driver. It can become a threat to every other competitor, the pit crews working nearby, and even the fans watching only a short distance from the racing surface. On a tight street circuit surrounded by concrete barriers, the danger becomes even greater. Wallace somehow kept the car under control, fought his way back through the field, and still earned second place. That comeback showed just how much he has grown as a driver. But no matter how impressive the finish looked, NASCAR was not ready to forget what happened earlier in the race. After reviewing the incident, NASCAR determined that the loose wheel was the result of a pit crew failure. That changed everything. The organization has made it clear for years that detached wheels will always bring serious consequences because safety comes first. Officials announced their decision shortly after the race, and it was a punishment that immediately caught everyone's attention. Rear tire changer Adam Hartman and jackman Nathan Ricketts were each suspended for the next 2 points races. Those races are SOMA and Chicagoland, two important events at a critical point in the season. This was not simply a warning or a financial penalty. NASCAR removed 2 key members of the number 23 team's pit crew during one of the most important stretches of the schedule. Hartman's responsibility was making sure the rear wheel was properly secured before the car left pit road. When a wheel comes off, that position is always one of the first places officials investigate. Ricketts, working as the jackman, shares responsibility for the execution of the pit stop, and NASCAR ruled that both crew members would face the same penalty. The message was impossible to misunderstand. The process has to be perfect every single time because speed means nothing if safety is lost. For Bubba Wallace and the entire 23XI racing organization, the timing could hardly be worse. Wallace is fighting for valuable playoff points, and every race matters from this point forward. Losing 2 experienced pit crew members creates problems that cannot be solved overnight. The team must now rely on replacement crew members or move people into unfamiliar roles. Neither option is ideal. Pit stops often decide races. A clean stop can gain several positions in only a few seconds, while one mistake can erase an entire afternoon of hard work. That challenge becomes even greater with SOMA coming next. Road courses demand perfect strategy, quick decisions, and flawless execution because passing opportunities are limited. Every second spent on pit road matters. Then comes Chicagoland, where track position can determine whether a driver fights for the win or struggles just to stay with the leaders. Even though 23XI Racing has built a deep and talented organization under co-owners Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan, replacing 2 regular crew members is never simple. Pit crews spend countless hours practicing together until every movement becomes automatic. That rhythm is built over months and even years. Now the team must rebuild that chemistry in only a matter of days. While Bubba Wallace prepares for 2 races that could have a major impact on his season. Before we find out whether this penalty changes Bubba Wallace's season, it is worth remembering what he accomplished in San Diego. Most drivers who lose a wheel during a race would be happy just to finish. The balance of the car changes, confidence disappears, and every lap becomes a fight to simply stay on the track. Wallace faced all of that, yet he refused to give up. He stayed calm while the team worked through the problem on the radio, adjusted to a damaged race car, and somehow climbed back into contention. Crossing the finish line in second place after such a major setback was not luck. It was a sign of the confidence and experience he has built over the last several seasons. But racing is a team sport, and now the biggest question is not whether Bubba Wallace can perform. It is whether the people around him can deliver under pressure. Adam Hartman and Nathan Ricketts will not be there for the next 2 points races. Their replacements will have only a short amount of time to build chemistry with the rest of the crew. Every pit stop will be under the microscope, because one small mistake can change the outcome of an entire race. At SOMA, strategy is everything. Tire wear, fuel mileage, and perfectly timed pit stops often decide who leaves with the trophy. If a caution flag comes out at the wrong moment, teams have only seconds to make critical decisions. The fastest and cleanest crew can gain a huge advantage, while a slow stop can send a driver from the front of the field to the middle of the pack in an instant. The challenge does not end there. After Soma comes Chicagoland, another important stop on the schedule where every point matters in the playoff race. New tracks and demanding conditions already force teams to adapt quickly. And now the number 23 team must do it with a different lineup on pit road. Even organizations with plenty of resources cannot instantly replace years of teamwork and repetition. NASCAR pit crews practice hundreds of times every week because every movement has to be perfect. The jackmen, tire changers, and carrier all depend on one another, almost like a perfectly timed dance. Remove two key members from that routine, and the entire rhythm changes. That is exactly why NASCAR uses this penalty. The goal is not simply to punish a mistake. It is to remind every team in the garage that safety cannot be sacrificed in the search for speed. A detached wheel is one of the worst situations possible because it puts everyone at risk. On a street course surrounded by barriers, the danger becomes even greater. A loose wheel can bounce into another race car, strike equipment, or head toward workers and officials. NASCAR wants every crew member to remember those risks every time a car leaves pit road. The message could not be clearer. Get the job done correctly, or watch the next races from home. Now the spotlight turns back to Bubba Wallace and 2311 Racing. The talent is still there. The speed is still there. Wallace already proved at Coronado that he can overcome chaos behind the wheel. Now he has to prove he can keep his playoff push alive while his team works through one of its biggest challenges of the season. If the replacement crew performs well, this penalty may become nothing more than a difficult chapter in an otherwise successful year. But if mistakes continue, those lost points could be remembered when the playoff picture is finally decided. NASCAR's decision has already been made, and there will be no changing it. Adam Hartman and Nathan Ricketts will miss the next 2 points races, and the number 23 team must move forward without them. The coming weeks will reveal whether this organization can overcome the disruption or whether this penalty becomes a turning point in Bubba Wallace's season. One thing is certain, NASCAR wanted to send a message to every team on pit road, and that message echoed across the entire garage. Speed wins races, but safety comes first. Bubba Wallace showed incredible resilience by finishing second after a wheel came loose. Now he faces an entirely different challenge. The next 2 races will test not only his driving ability, but the strength, depth, and determination of everyone inside 2311 Racing. The hammer has fallen, and now it is time to see who can rise above it.